channel. It's another Make Your Monday with Mufaro video, and if you're new or you've just clicked on this channel, welcome to the Make Your Monday family. I am Mufaro and we are an amazing family. We are all about getting our lives together, and we do so by making our Mondays because we believe that Mondays make our weeks and this ultimately makes our lives, and we do so by having one constructive conversation at a time. We discuss everything. We discuss faith, we discuss business, we discuss life, and everything that is actually in between. So you definitely want to hit that subscribe button. And if you are a returning, hello my Monday maker, my mover and my shaker, a goal setter and a goal crusher, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for all the engagement, and yeah, let's get into today's video. So like I was saying, we don't want to digress, we don't want to ramble too much, but before I get started, I actually had a question for you guys. So like the name says, we're actually supposed to be posting videos every Monday, but yeah, sometimes life gets in the way, school, business, and so I sometimes cannot post on a Monday. But I did want to ask, do you guys want the videos on a Sunday so that you prepare for a Monday, or should we stick to the Monday? I know right now I'm posting every Wednesday. I repent, I will change. But that's also because of logistics, but usually we do have a post every Monday. And also, please don't forget to follow our Make Your Monday page on Instagram. It's at make_your_Monday. That's on Instagram. And if you want to follow my personal account, it's at Mufaromumba _ with a dove. So yeah, I always forget to say that every time every time I sit down to film. And so and also it's May. It's a new where are my banners? Welcome to a new month. Oh, it's because I didn't film last week. Welcome to a new month. Welcome to the month of May. I'm so excited for what this month has. I'm really excited. As you know, we are now having our Bible studies, so you should expect a Bible study. The video should go up anytime this week or next week, because how I want it to be is that we have our video on a Monday, and then Wednesday we can maybe have like usually I want our Bible study to drop every mid-Wednesday of the month. Yes, so it's actually next week Wednesday is when we'll have our video for the month. But anyway, so that we don't have issues with space, I don't want to digress and then be annoyed, and yeah. But yeah, so in today's video we are going to be talking about defining success and greatness, right? So I just want, as you know, we share a lot of Jesus here. Everything we talk about is always going to be scripturally based, because hello, we're believers, so the word is our foundation. We're not going to build on anything else that is not the word. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, so many times we say, oh, I want to be successful, I want to be great, I know that I'm a great person, but what is your definition of success? Where are you getting this definition of greatness? Where is it actually coming from? And it's important that we actually know where it's coming from, because it's going to shape how we view. It's going to be like when we are what's the word? Guys, I've just gone blank. Like, yes, it's going to be your benchmark. So whatever you do as you're moving, you're going to be looking and thinking and saying, okay, I'm at this point, I'm at this juncture. Am I reaching what I've defined as success? Is success going to be, I make it onto a magazine cover, I have a viral video, I'm trending, I have the most followers, or I have the fanciest cars, I'm living in the best neighborhood? What are you actually defining as success, right? And so I want to take us to the book of Matthew, chapter 25, and it's the parable of the talents, and it starts from verse 14 all the way through to verse 30. So I'm not going to read it. You are going to go and read it. But what I'm just going to do is I'm basically going to summarize and then pick on a few key points. So the parable of talents, Jesus is talking and he is explaining the parable of talents. And he says there's a master who has 3 servants and he gives each of them talents. Now to one he gives 5 talents, to another he gives 2 talents, to the other he gives 1 talent. But I love what the Bible says, because it says he gave them talents each according to their several ability. That's why I like King James Version. But New King James Version says he gives to each according to his own ability, right? And so this master goes away and then he comes back after some time. So the servant who had 5 talents multiplies his 5 talents and he gets another 5. The one with 2 does the same, gets another 2. But interestingly, the one with 1 talent goes and digs his talent in the ground and he hides it. Right. And so now the master comes back and he's speaking to the servants. But if you read what he says to the first 2 servants, they say to him, this is what you gave us and this is what we've done. And I love what he says. He says, well done, my good and faithful service. Well done. We associate well done with having been successful. And so as I was reading up and preparing, I thought, okay, God, what do you define success as? Because we as believers, we can't work with the definition of the world of success. We can't work with the world's definition of what greatness is, because that's not what guides us. That is not our master at the end of the day. It's not the world. We have to come back to scripture and say, God, what are you saying is success? And so according to God, success is when we do what he wants. That is actually what God considers as success. So with the servants whom he gave talents, he wanted the servants to multiply those talents. And that's why when the servants had done well with what God had given them, he says to them, well done, you've been a good servant. According to my books, you have been successful. According to my books, you have won, right? And so the thing, when we look at the last servant, he says something that's so interesting, because he says, Master, I know that you are a hard man. You reap where you did not sow. And so I went and took that talent and I hid it in the ground. So many of us have things that God has given us, but we are deciding to do our own thing with what he has given us, because we don't believe that he should benefit from my hard work. Why should he benefit from the songwriting talent that he gave me? Why should I write songs that are unto his glory? Because what? We are saying to him that actually you are a hard man. You want to reap from where you did not sow. Why should you reap many people coming to know you because of a song that I wrote? You didn't sow that. So it's so important that we have an understanding and a definition of what is success according to God. That's why you find many of us, we feel like we're unsuccessful, but it's because you're running with the definition of what the world defines as success. And so I've been reading this book. I know I've been promising you guys a video with book reviews, like just talking about all the books, my recommended reads for 2023. And I am going to do it once I finish this book. But I'm currently reading a book that's called The Millionaire Fast Lane. And he talks about wealth. And he talks about how society has toxified our idea of wealth. And as I was reading that, it got me thinking that it's actually not just limited to our idea of wealth. Our idea even of success has been toxified by the world, because the world says for you to be called successful, you should be having a thriving social media account. Like, you should be having a large social media following. You should have been going viral. Like, you should be living in the best part of the neighborhood. You should be driving the fanciest cars. You should be having the latest equipment. And while those things are not bad, please don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with desiring to live in the best neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to have the best, device for yourself. But is that actually success? Because if our sense of success is warped, then we're going to be going around and chasing the craziest of things. And again, it feeds into your definition of greatness. Imagine the disciples are, okay, the mother of James and John, she comes to Jesus and she says to him, when you are seated on your throne, can my sons, can one sit on your right hand and can one sit on your left? And so the disciples, when the other 10 hear about this, like, they're not happy because they are saying, like, why do you guys want that kind of greatness? But I love what Jesus says to them. And he says, if you want to be the greatest in the kingdom, if you in the kingdom, if it's not the kingdom, then by all means, there's a different level, there's a different definition, there's a different benchmark for greatness outside of the kingdom. But he says, if you want to be great according to the kingdom, then you have to be the best servant. So can you see that if you are chasing the world's definition of greatness according to the kingdom, we've completely missed the mark, because the world says the greatest is the one who's at the top. Everyone else should be serving you. That is greatness according to the world. According to the world, greatness says, hey, I don't serve. Sweetie, I get served. But greatness according to the kingdom says, we serve. We put on a towel and we wash the feet of others and we serve according to the kingdom. That is greatness. So I hope this will challenge you to sit down. Don't be scared, guys, like, of breaking out of the box. I am a big advocate for, I ask, like, naturally I'm inquisitive to say, why am I doing this? For who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for clout? Am I doing this so that everyone else can applaud for me? But the older that I'm becoming, the more that I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, it's my life. I will sit with my decisions. I will sit with everything that I've done and I've pursued. And I want the kind of life that when I sit, I can look back and say that I pursued things that mattered to me. I pursued things that brought me fulfillment. I pursued things that bring God greatness. So yeah, take a moment, sit down, reflect. What have you defined as success? What have you defined as greatness? Because once you get that definition right, you will know that at the end of your life, you have been successful. Jesus says in John 17, my Father, now that I've done all the work you sent me to do, glorify me. Now that I've achieved, now that I am successful in all these things, you can glorify me. So that's the thing with us, is that we have to sit back and say, okay, God, what are you calling success? Jesus told us in John 17, success is doing what God has called us to do. So now I want to talk about trusting the process. So I found that usually how God works, and I'm not saying that he's limited to that, no, but usually we find ourselves on each end on the spectrum. Either you have glimpses, like you have small snippets, or you have the full picture, like you have the end result, you have the end process. So what I mean by like the small snippet is, for example, you know that you can sing, you know, okay, you know I can dance, but I can also write books, okay, but I can also lead. And you're kind of trying to figure out, God, how do all those things merge together? How do they mash up together? So I'll start with people who are on that end, that you have the small pieces. It is important that you are able to trust the process. Don't be scared of following breadcrumbs. If you find yourself being passionate about something in a season, you know, I was listening to a podcast with Nomdeni, and she was speaking about how loving gardening does not mean you have to become a gardener. Okay. So the same thing with having the gift of songwriting does not always mean you're going to be a singer. But don't be scared to follow through the process in that moment. Don't be scared to dive fully into immersing yourself fully into songwriting. Reason being that because it's part of the process, you have this small snippet. You don't know that probably maybe 5 to 10 years from now, that gift is going to make room for you before kings. Or you're going to need to use that gift to write a song for someone. following the process, it does not necessarily mean that you yourself are going to be a singer, but that gift will serve you in another season. The same thing with the lessons that you are learning. Right now, the things that you are learning, it may seem like it's quite useless. Probably when you were in grade 1, to be honest, 1 plus 1 was, oh gosh, it was like, okay, yeah, it's 2. So what? But it was a building block for when you would get to 1, was a building block for when you would then get to A-level maths, or you would get to university maths, where you are applying the same concept, but that concept is an underlying base. It's basically a stepping stone to get you to another place. So many times a lot of us feel like, oh, okay, like I've got the small pieces, and you're obsessing over them. You're trying to understand, okay, I can write songs. So which studio am I going to be writing for? Which producers am I going to work with? Because I'm going to be singing songs. But it doesn't always translate into that, but it's an ability to understand that, okay, where I'm at right now, can I trust the process? Can I trust that right now in my hand, he's giving me yellow? Can I still trust him when he takes yellow out of my hand and he gives me black? I'm not getting it. The thing with God is that he doesn't announce. He's not going to give you an announcement that, okay, we're switching things over. Nope, he doesn't do that. And so you end up fixating and saying, but I don't want to let go of this. Like, oh, I miss when I used to write songs. Oh, I miss when I used to do this. But you're failing to realize that we are actually transitioning. And this takes me to the second group of people, the people who have the big picture, or you have the final result, right? So I'm going to take you to a book in the Bible, a man in the Bible rather, Abraham, right? And we find his story from Genesis, you can start from 14, yeah, from 14, and it just goes on, I think until like chapter 22 or 23, and then it shifts over to Isaac. And so God is speaking to Abraham, and he's telling him, I'm going to give you descendants, right? But these descendants are going to be in slavery for 400 years. But after that, I'm taking them to Canaan. Okay, so the descendants are working and they know that, okay, we're supposed to go to Canaan, right? Canaan is the big picture, but God didn't give them the other steps in between. He didn't tell them that, oh, by the way, Herod is going to give a decree and Moses is going to be born in that time, but then Moses is going to go away for another 40 years while I prune him in the desert, and then he's going to come back and lead you guys out frantically over Passover. And then wait, we're gonna walk through the desert before we get to Canaan, but we're still going to Canaan. So most of the times you then find we are asking ourselves these questions, but why am I here? Why am I doing this? God, this is not Canaan. The desert, there's definitely no milk. There's definitely no honey. So where is it matching? Where is it aligning? Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. You need that ability to trust in God, that what you are doing, it's folding out. I always think of like life, when we will look back, it's a beautiful tapestry. God is weaving all these different colors together. But like we're saying, remember, he doesn't announce. When the weave maker is moving from yellow to red, he doesn't make an announcement to the carpet to tell them, okay, boys, we're switching over colors, right? He's not going to do that, because you are standing here, you maybe are at yellow, right? And you see at the end is blue. And you're thinking, these colors are like opposite colors. Where does it mix? But you don't understand that he's going to take you from yellow. Yellow transitions into orange. Orange will become red. Red will become purple. Purple becomes blue. You see, so he's slowly unfolding things, but we need to be able to trust him and follow the breadcrumbs in that season. So if in this season where things are yellow, he's teaching you, my child, he's teaching you discipline, he's teaching you time management. Maybe you are not understanding. He's showing you the final picture of being a CEO, and like you don't get it. You're like, time management? Really? Managing finances? Really? God, serving in the honestly, I'm supposed to be on the podium. I'm supposed to be what make up the final picture. A beautiful painting does not only just consist of one color. It's when you take one color and it somehow transitions and it's meshing all these other colors. That is how God works. So we need to understand that if you've got the small pieces, if you've got the glimpses, you've got the little breadcrumbs, you can see, okay, I lead. You can see, okay, I've got this talent, I've got this. Don't neglect them. Don't negate if in a season you can feel that this is the dominant thing. Follow it through. Follow it through. It's going to serve you in another season. It's going to serve you at another point in time. Even if you cannot see it now, even if you don't understand it now, it's okay. Trust the process. Trust God. In Jeremiah 29:11, we love to quote this verse which says, I know the plans I have for you. He says they're good. My plans are to give you a hope and a future. But what many of us forget is that a plan comes with process. A plan comes with steps. A plan has an ultimate goal. And sometimes he can show you the goal and he doesn't show you the steps. Sometimes he can show you the steps and not show you where it's ending. So in either way or either end of the spectrum where you're finding yourself, be able to trust him. Be able to trust the process. Be able to press in and fully immerse yourself in those moments. Because you'll never get that time back. You will never get the time back to, like right now, maybe you're in a season of discipline. I don't know, whatever discipline it is, be it that maybe he's disciplining you concerning your time, concerning how you carry yourself. When you're a CEO, you don't have the opportunity to learn discipline. Unfortunately, with us, we don't learn things on the job. Many people, we want to then finally, oh, when I become great, oh, I should now know how to talk to people. You learn how to talk to people when you're still a cashier. You learn how to talk to people when you're an usher at the door. So that now when you are given a microphone in your hand, you know how to address people. You know how to speak words that pierce to the heart of people. You know how to capture people's hearts. But unfortunately, in our age and our generation, we are just like, no, today, not today, I need to be there. I need to be on the stage. I need to be having everything. So, I love this verse that says, do not despise the day of humble beginnings. Don't despise where you are at right now. Be able to trust the process. Be able to trust God, that God, I may not see the big picture. I may not see where these small little steps are going to take me, but I'm going to trust you because I trust in your plan. You told me in your word that your plan ends with hope and your plan ends with a future. So I hope I've encouraged you. I hope you can take some time to sit down and really assess where did you get your definition of success? Where did you get your definition of greatness? So that we are not finding ourselves sitting and feeling like we're falling short because we're following the wrong definition or we have the wrong ideology that has been toxified by the world. And also just to take time to trust the process. Wherever you are finding yourself, be it that you're in a season of good, you're finding yourself in a time maybe where things are a bit challenging, he's stretching you, he's increasing your capacity, and it has an end goal. His suffering is not forever. There's always an end goal to it. So guys, we're currently sitting on 70 subscribers. I forgot to tell you that last month was my birthday month. So as my late birthday gift, please get me to 100 subscribers so that our family grows, so that more and more people can hear what we have to say and that our lives are ultimately becoming better. So from me to you, I'll see you in the next video.